Oh, dogs. Oh, that's not good. I'm gonna go hit my stop. All right, we're gonna chill with that for a little bit. Good morning, everyone. How we doing? We'll explain what this mess is here in a minute. Welcome in, everyone. Good morning. Good morning. Got everything all set up here. What's going on, Wall Dive? Rebo, how you doing? Let me get my schedule out here. Beautiful. Welcome in, everyone. Top of the morning. Richie Rich, how you doing? No Too Broke. Good morning. Happy to have you here. Okay, we're gonna get these. I'm gonna get these executed here. We're gonna do it. So I will have to be momentarily on a different window. I have to do a KYC verification, identity verification for my funded futures to activate these pro accounts. Seems kind of silly, but usually you only have to do it when you go and get the payout, not when you have to activate the account. I see why they're doing it early on, but just bear with me. It'll take a minute, I'm sure. But that's what we're going to be trading on today. Good morning, Me Trades. How you doing? What do we say? We mollywop the market makers today? Now we can try. I think they will almost always win, though. Sad as it is to say. There we go. I got to start the verification. And then I got to do it on my phone. Continue on phone. There we go. You guys can watch me take a selfie. Driver's license. Continue. Allow. I've done this so many times. As for your question about the Apex counts, what's going on, Mark? How you doing? Good morning. I'm not going to give them any exposure. So that did help significantly with growing my brand, showing the progress of those Apex counts and showing how reliable they are. I myself will not be giving them any recognition or advertisement or recommending people that are in my audience to go and use them. The reason being, I don't think it's a very reliable product for the average trader to go and use. So if any of you guys were, let's say in my position, you're probably not going to be taking advantage of maybe they approved my payout because they saw it on social media, which I think is the case. May disagree, may agree. I think because I had my post about payout denial, that's why I ended up getting the payout approved right after. The average trader not really going to be able to have that privilege. Just give me a minute here while I have to scan my face. Move my head in a circle. There we go. That should work. Oh, I have to upload a document to confirm my address. Okay, interesting. Should have something over here. Good. Hopefully you guys can see that. It'd be disappointing if you could. and just detox myself. So, which firm can we rely on for no payout denials and good policies? Lucid, Tradeify, yeah, all three of those. Lucid, Tradeify, My Funded Futures. Don't forget to smile. Thank you, Kurt. I would not. I wouldn't go and recommend using Apex. The benefit to Apex is that you have 20 accounts. That's it. The benefit to Tradeify and Lucid is that they're reliable as can be. There's no issues with them whatsoever in terms of getting your payout approved, making sure that you actually have the money that's going to be sent to your account. Like that Apex payout, I'm still waiting on it. I haven't gotten into my bank account yet. Lucid has 1 minute payouts, quite literally 1 minute payouts. So as soon as you request it, it's within your bank account within 1 minute. That's their benefit. Tradeify, they're reliable as can be. My Funded Futures, they're reliable as can be. You're not going to have any issues with them. You're not going to have any issues getting your payout. You're not going to have any issues getting your money out of the account. None of that. Is that verified? You mean a valid? As valid as it gets. That's so weird. I'm struggling with this identity verification. Sorry about that. The reason I'm doing it is because I want to trade on these accounts today. Oh, utility bills. Okay. Bank documents. That one might work. Sorry, I'm having a difficult time right now. If you can't tell. We'll get into what the market's doing here shortly. No rush at the moment. Let's see if I can log into. Yeah, that'll work. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, Tris. So the max accounts we can get is 15 across 3 firms. Take Profit Trader I haven't tried yet, so I don't have any recommendation on them. I do plan on trying them relatively soon, just so you know. Oh, God. I don't remember what my... This is a whole mess. I've never had this big of an issue getting my identity verified. This kind of stinks. Again, the reason that we're doing this is because I want to trade on the accounts today. I did not expect, I should have done this last night, but I did not expect that it was going to restrict me. In terms of getting this approved, sadly. We'll get it figured out here in a minute. All right, going over to Qs though. Go over to Edgefill here. So we do have a pretty significant gap down right now, 0.45%. Get the music going in the back. This gap that we're looking at, the percent chance that we have a fill is the same as yesterday. So it's 40-60 for the gap down. It's 80-20 on Qs. Sorry, that's ES. SPY is only gap down 0.38, so it's a little bit better on SPY. A little tiny bit better. Correct. So that's showing us that we should have, on Qs, we don't have a very high chance of getting this gap filled to the upside. So we have a 71% chance that this gap that we're down from previous day's close, which we closed at 605.74, showing us that this is probably not going to fill today. So that gives us a little bit of a bias into open, shows us that we're probably not anticipating upside right away. That one's not something that I lean heavily into. It's something that I more so use in line with what the inside bar is doing. So these two reports together is the more important factor. This is showing us that with the inside bar we have, which that's a stat in itself, that is a 81.8% chance of happening. We break out of previous day's range. That's what it's telling us. So that's what I'll be looking for into open. I'm not really going to be looking for continuation to the upside necessarily. I'm going to be looking more so for price to continue right down to 679 previous day's low. Typically, yeah, I have the range in already. Previous day's low is 675. So theoretically, we play long on ES for the gap up. No, both of them are pointing in the same direction. We're looking for a downside move on both. I'm looking for this to continue down to probably should be 675. So this move right here is what we're going to be looking for. Sorry, I'm trying to get this verified inside. This is what I'm going to be looking for. Price to move down to previous day's low, 679. And then same thing that we did yesterday. Only yesterday we were targeting the high. And it did have, we had a 0.19% gap up. So that one was in the first bracket yesterday. That isn't nearly as significant as what we're looking at for the third bracket right now. And again, we do have another 14 minutes to open. So this isn't something that's set in stone at the moment. This could very much take another 20 minutes or the full 14 minutes to give us our gap. We might have a continuation up. We might have a continuation down. There's no telling with what price is going to do. We are riding on the brink of that. We're right on the edge of that second and third bracket, which you can see how significant the change is. That's why I'm not putting too much emphasis on that as well. I'd personally like to see it gap down at least 0.4% because then I know we probably aren't going to fill the gap up and we can maintain a bearish bias down to 673, which is previous day's low right from the open. It's regular trading hours. Good morning, Frank. How you doing? Pip T, good morning. Yeah, sorry, I've been we'll get this done and set up here. My profile, maybe I can do that. Maybe that will work. Oh, don't tell me it's going to start it all over again. Are you kidding me? Okay, this is definitely the worst experience I've had with trying to verify my identity or just get the account set up. I've quite literally never had an issue like this before. Continue on phone. Jeepers. It's going to make me do the whole thing all. Okay, there we go. Choose from your device. Photo library. There we go. That works. Verifying your address. Yeah. Yesterday, did you pass the evals on MFF and receive the sim funded accounts? Yes, that's what I'm working on right now, Reg. It's being a little annoying at the moment because it says that it needs a utility and it didn't work again. Come on. I don't know what it wants from me. Okay, let's see if I can get a bill on here. I mean, I can't really trade on the accounts today if we don't get this all set up. Do I have any bank? There we go. Maybe that will work. Take photo. There we go. That works. But I have all these documents sitting right next to me. All right, now we are less than that gap. So we're 0.36%, and that changes it up from 70% chance that we don't get a gap filled to 70% chance that we do. This is why we kind of have to wait for the next couple of minutes. Market makers win 9 out of 10 times, boys. Today we take their liquidity. Funny. All right. Please tell me this works. I don't think I don't even have my passport. I'm gonna say that might work. Oh, this is very frustrating at the moment. Oh, thank God. Oh, no, I don't want to save my data. Your account has been verified. Now we can go and fund them. That was a pain. Where are you seeing the size of the gap? It's down here in the bottom right. It's 0.37%. So if you go onto your trading view chart and you look at QQQ pre-market, $2.24, 0.37% is the gap down. And then we bring that over to Edgeful, and it's either the second or third bracket that we're in right now, which drastically changes it. Drastically changes it. So, well, it switches because we're gap down 0.36. It's switched to a 70% chance that we do fill the gap, as opposed to a 70% chance that we don't. I am more so leaning on the fact that we do have this inside bar stat. I have seen several instances where it will push all the way up to the high, so we really just have to wait for the next 7 minutes. That's about it. There's not really much that we can do at the moment. Okay, now I should be able to go and fund these accounts. Don't tell me. Where is it? Okay, it's still there we go. Passed. Let's upgrade it. Still not upgraded. Are you kidding me? Can't fund the account until it's checked. Why? These ones are all good though. There we go. Upgrade. Maybe this one will work. Under review, verification is being processed. Documents received and processing within 24 hours. What? You kidding me? All right, got 5 minutes to open. Still waiting to see what our balance is going to be. What we're expecting for the balance, anyway. Right now, we are at 0.36%, so it's still favoring the gap filled. This stinks. Well, hopefully they get reviewed here in the next couple of minutes. Let's see. They sent me an email? No, not yet. Okay, got one more to go. Funding some TradeAway accounts. Yeah, that's what I'm doing. No bias. Thursdays are usually bad for the IB, correct? Yeah, Thursdays typically aren't that good for the IB for us to play. We're back down to 0.42% now, so gap fill favor has switched yet again to the downside. Just so everyone's aware. Jeez, what you doing there, Wall Dive? That was a big sigh. It's going to switch quite a few times coming up here in a minute. So I think we should probably stay gapped. Well, it doesn't look like we're going to be getting that filled today. Change yet again. Now we are kind of free falling right before open here. So it's 0.5%. We're in the third bracket. We have 2 minutes to open, a little bit less than 2 minutes to open. Hopefully these get approved. I should have done this process last night. I didn't think it was going to get denied 3 times, though. All right, we've got a minute to go. Let's see if... Oh, nothing yet. Nothing on them yet. Oh, there we go. Got accepted already. Phew. All right, we should have them now. Okay, we are dropping pretty quick right now. At 38 seconds to go, and we're definitely within that third bracket. So what this is telling us is we will likely be targeting down to previous day's low, 675. We have a 70% chance this gap does not get filled, 71% chance the gap does not get filled. So we will not be anticipating a move to the upside into open. Even a quick wick, and that's both for SPY and Qs. SPY is in the second bracket. So this one, actually, same thing we had yesterday. So they're counted on each other again, sadly. Not really a valid play for us to have into open though. So it says approved. When do I get my accounts? I'll worry about it in a minute. I'm going to be looking for previous day's low. It has 15 minutes to get these accounts anyway, so I'm not too worried. All right, said it was accepted. Just got an email that said it was accepted. Who's listening to another stream in here? Who is that? Oh, I gotcha. Thank you. All right, definitely going to have a bearish bias. We're not obviously not going to be taking anything right now. We're just waiting for price to simmer out a little bit. I keep refreshing TradeAvate to see when I'm going to get those accounts set up over here. It says in progress. Oh, okay, there we go. I had to review and accept this. Funded trader agreement. Gosh, there are some loops they make you go through for this. It wants me to review this document, type that in, good. Everything's all set there. 1,000,001 pages. Signature. Sorry about this, guys. But we will be all set. I did end up getting the rapid accounts funded. So we'll discuss that here in a little bit once I get the accounts open. And everyone can see them on the screen. Okay, that should be all good. Not a very exciting open, though. I mean, we're not really doing anything exciting. We did have a little sweep up. We're not having any continued movement so far. It's just a doji to start. Morning, Khalid. How you doing? Okay. I think the most we've moved so far is like 30 points, maybe. This is a very weak open. Not weak in terms of the movement being weak, but this is just weak in terms of not having any movement. Does FOMC affect IB trades? It didn't yesterday. Obviously, we didn't take the trade yesterday, but I wouldn't say it affected it. We just didn't have an opportunity to enter. Getting a little continued movement now. This is a bad opening candle. IB low form first, IB high second, but it's only 5 minutes in. It's not really anything significant. So give it a little bit longer. Still waiting to get the accounts over in. Good thing we don't trade that first 15 minutes. Oh, there we go. They're in. They're updated. Sweet. Very nice. Which one? The London 50? No, I don't. His name was Tyler something on Twitter. Notice you mentioned buying some 50Ks recently. You're shifting away from 25K. Sorry to cut you off. Steve, go ahead. What was the rest of your question? Uh-oh. My trade evade's not loading. That's not good. I refreshed it. Now it's blacked out on me. For the 50K accounts, SS, the reason that I bought the 50Ks with my funded futures is because they don't have a 25K option. That's the only reason. The 25K flex was added after I already had the 50K rapids. And then I talked about it a little bit yesterday. The rapid accounts aren't necessarily bad. The flex accounts I don't really like because they're very similar to what Top Step does. This is not want to load for me. There we go. The flex accounts are very similar to what Top Step does. So it's 50%. Anyone else having issues with? There we go. Never mind. It's on. Maybe they just have so many people logging in that's flooding their servers. Okay, we got that set to 10. That's set to 10. Not trading gold, obviously. Haven't traded gold since we were removed from Apex. Since gold was removed for Apex, so it still has 20 on there. Okay, so we go to manage groups. We go to do 50K rapid. All right, 50K rapid payout. This is a little show on how to set up the trade copier. And Waldive, you had a little question about this morning, right? If you're on my screen right now, this will show you how to set up the trade copier. For anyone else that's in chat as well. So you go to the groups. I'm going to put the name 50K rapid payouts. Slap that on there, and we're going to slap all these over into the group. Save account group successfully saved, and then we click the drawdown menu and go into 50K rapid. Get rid of that payout. Why am I on the 1 minute? Trade rate's definitely moving slow right now, right? It's not just me. Does anyone else having issues with them? To change your chart colors on Tradevate, you go to chart settings, color scheme, and then click on the make copy button. And then you can go through all these and change what you want for your chart colors. It's slow AF right now. I do think they have an increase of users on here. Stay away from me. What's going on, Rolo? Good morning, El Supremo. Sorry about the lack of attention there. That was, in an honest review, that was one of the worst verifications I've had for accounts. That was not ideal. Can you go over the trade that passed the MFF evals? I took a long yesterday. Not long, sorry, a short. Just before FOMC. I was actually watching, believe it or not, I was watching Patrick Whelan, D-Money with Patrick Whelan, and he said something about shorts, and I was like, oh, I'll go into shorts, and it ended up dropping 200 points. So I had 8 micros that ended up doing 1,300, or 4 micros that ended up doing 1,300 profit. And then I took a long right after FOMC or right to close, and that ended up getting 200. And then I think I took a long last night for Glopex Open, wherever that is, 6 o'clock. But going over these accounts now, actually, I want to read what you said, Roland. Stay away from Elite. I was about to get a 3K payout, not even one payout, and they moved me to live. So either way, they lose 3K, but they don't want to pay you out, so they moved you live, and they'd rather you blow the 3K as opposed to pay you out 3K. Don't trade on Tradevate now. Yeah, Tradevate's having some issues. Tradevate is having some issues right now, just so everyone knows. Now to go over to the 50K Rapids. These are my first accounts with my funded futures. They are funded now. I don't know. I'm not familiar with how they show they're funded. Just know that they are. If it was an eval, this would show 52,000, just 2,000 distance to liquidity. Everything for these accounts. The reason that I got the Rapids as opposed to the Flex accounts are as close to Top Step as it gets, and I'm not a fan of trading on Top Step. I don't like the rules that they have to get the payouts. I don't like being restricted to what I have to make per day to have that qualify for a trading day. For these accounts, they are daily payouts. So if I were to somehow miraculously make $500 today, I could take that out, even if it was on micros. So if I made 500 per account, I could today request $2,500. I could take all 500 out per account. There is no limit on how many payouts you can take on these. They move you up to live on their discretion, and it consolidates all the balance in the accounts, including the distance to drawdown. So with my funded futures, if you pass their accounts, you automatically get whatever balance. You don't start at zero. You automatically get a balance to start with. So distance to liquidity, they essentially gave me a 2K account right off the bat. I can take these accounts up to 2,500 and then go and take 2,500 out as a payout request later today. Can you pass these rapids in one day? No, I bought the accounts on, anyone remember, Tuesday this week? I think. Took me 3 days to pass them. It's 2 days to pass. It's 50% consistency. With these accounts, again, daily payouts. So there's the reason I always opt with the daily payouts now, Not because I expect to take daily payouts. That nothing to do with it. The reason I opt for daily payouts is because that gives me the ability to remove the minimum trading requirement for the day. Daily payouts don't have consistency. They don't have a required balance that you have to hit for a qualifying trading day. So I can make $2 a day, and that counts as a trading day. As opposed, if I go on a flex account, a 25K flex, you need $100, or a 50K flex, you need a $200 day to qualify for a trading day. We almost hit previous day's low right there as well, but that's definitely going to be the target coming up here. 1 minute time frame. We have the IB high form first, the IB low form second. Someone did drop a very good point in here earlier. The IB by rejection stat for a Thursday is usually not so good. So today it is overdue some wins on the high being formed first. This one's at 60%. So this is overdue a win for us to target further lower today. It, however, doesn't mean that we're automatically going to go and target that low. I do want to see the low for previous day's low get taken out here. So that's another lineup that I want to see have a nice push down. I don't think that it's going to chop too much today. I think that we're going to get a pretty directional move. We don't really have any news coming up. We get a sweep up to start the day. I did forget to draw in London 50, but London 50 shouldn't have been too close given our 4 a.m. range was way up there. So London 50 ended up rejecting before it was formed, so not really anything we could have done with that measure. I will actually leave that on the chart in case we have London low. That probably would have been a pretty good entry for short there, actually. Trade of 8 does appear to be having some issues. Okay, take into consideration where IB closes above or below midpoint. My entry is at the midpoint. They do have a stat on here that shows above or below midpoint, but I don't use it anymore. We're trying to work on showing how the IB works in terms of looking for a close underneath or over the 50%. It's just a little difficult trying to tweak the customization. Still haven't gotten the Apex payout. I requested it on Thursday. I got denied on Thursday, and then I got approved on Friday last week, and then they sent the money on Saturday. So today will be day 3, business day 3. Definitely one of the slower payouts I've gotten. The benefit to, I think, the top 3 firms right now, Lucid, I think, is top 1 because all their accounts are one-time payouts. So you don't need anything with monthly recurring. You don't need anything with what you're targeting in terms of profit for the month because you don't have to worry about getting renewed for the month. What's going on, Woke? Walk. Just kidding. It's going to be an everyday thing. I'm sorry. R2 is going on. It's going to be very similar to how I can say R2. Let's see if we have any updates from Tradeify and Lucid. Also, for the giveaway accounts, I will be giving away some Lucid accounts on stream. However, their affiliate dashboard is currently down, so I cannot access the codes that I was going to give away. So until their dashboard is back up and running, that when their dashboard gets back up, that's when I'll give away the accounts. As of right now, I can't really do anything. And I even reached out to them yesterday and asked if I could give away the codes or if they could give me the codes, and they said no. They actually said nope. And that was it. Can you still trade those PA accounts? I can. I just can't buy. If I blow them, I can't buy any more evals. It is a ban, Roland. And the sad thing is, if you go and look at Apex does not have a live account. They don't have any live transition. They don't have any live traders. There are none of them. The first discussion of live accounts with Apex happened quite literally last week. And that I have that confirmed via Dodgy. He reached out to me after I made that post. It was live accounts were discussed at the Apex event, the Big Daddy Max Apex event that happened last week. That was the first time they've been discussed. They do not have any live accounts. So them giving you an email that says we're transitioning you to live means absolutely nothing. They're not transitioning you to live because they don't have a live account. There's nothing for them to give you in terms of live. So that's their politest way of saying you're banned. We don't want to work with you anymore. You've made too much money. You are not a profitable trader for us. You're a profitable trader, but you're not a profitable trader for us. So we do not want to work with you. That's essentially what that email means. So anyone that you see that's pushing Apex with affiliate codes, they have a privilege because they are affiliates with Apex. And that's essentially the email, or not the email, the message I got was, we'll unban you if you promote us. No exaggeration. No exaggeration, no BS. They told me we can get you unbanned if you promote Apex, if you get an affiliate code and promote Apex. So if you guys wanted to trade with them, you wanted to try to get those payouts, I will say it was the most difficult one that I went through. I also want to add on with these My Funded Futures accounts, the rapid ones do have trailing intraday drawdown. So I'm going to trade these the same as I did with Apex. I'm not too worried about that. These ones will be, again, if I make 500 today, I could take the 500 out. I could take 2,500 as a payout today, but I'm not going to aim to do that. So I'd probably just blow the accounts. The issue with the PA accounts is that and Steve, I think you're familiar with this as well. With the MAE rule, they also, there's been a few tweets showing that if you size up too much, they don't believe that it's you that's trading the account. So they will do a account investigation. If you all of a sudden go from trading 2 micros to trading 40 micros on the accounts, they won't believe that it's you that's trading, especially if you're making money doing it. They'll pause your accounts and do an investigation. Those are the most recent tweets that I've seen. Mamba Trader just posted one. Huge respect for you, bro. Wow, which other trader in the industries could speak like this? I mean, that's essentially what the ban was. I'm not gonna kind of snuggle up with Apex just because of the affiliate money that they pay out. I have no interest in. I mean, that company's as morally corrupt as Top Step is with the stuff that they're doing. So I spent 3,000. I just did the total. It was like 3,264, 3,264, give or take $200. I spent less than $4,000. There, that's a little better. Less than $4,000 spent with Apex. I've had 40 PA accounts with them. In total, I had 50 accounts. I blew 9 of them, sizing up, and then just had a bad stretch with the 20. The people that you see affiliating for them, and this isn't calling them out, this isn't saying that they're a bad trader, but great example like Nutty Bar Trading. His PA account numbers, I know he just said he's traded these ones for the past 70 days, but his PA account numbers are like 356. And if all those were the 150K accounts, that means that he spent probably $60,000 with Apex, depending on how long he's traded with them. So that's the difference between getting a email that says you're banned from our platform, you can't buy any more evals, and getting an email saying we appreciate you for your affiliate codes. Thanks for defending our brand. You can buy as many evals as you want. So it looks like SPY barely missed. SPY took the low, previous day's low, which is this white line here, 682.74. Sorry, I moved it a little bit. 682.85. SPY took previous day's low. Qs did not, and that's what caused us the bounce there on Qs. Do they take 50% of your profit like Top Step? So if you make 500, you're eligible. No, the split's 90-10. To simplify it, let's say I make $1,000 on these accounts today, on these Rapid accounts. Let's say I made $1,000 per account. I'm at 5,000 on the day. I can take 4,500 after the split. I can request the full 5,000 of the accounts. There's also no payout cap, which with the Rapid, which is really nice. But I think it's like 100K sim is what the limit is for all their accounts. That was a good bounce off London 50. We didn't hit it quite yet. London 50 is at 604.42. Are you talking about SPY? You have it drawn correctly, Walk? I have London 50 for London 50 for SPY. We're just now getting over. What the heck is going on? What that line on? Jeez. London low, you mean that? No longer looking for previous day's low. We have the IB high formed second now. So we're targeting up to the IB high for the first break, 75%. We could reject off London 50 right now. What I will add in is I'm going to get rid of that gap fill as well. Given that Qs hasn't broken its previous day's range yet, that's going to be a draw for the afternoon. So up to 609.74 or down to 675. Rapid's a lot like Take Profit Trader Pro accounts. Yeah, I think it's exactly the same, quite honestly. So I can the other thing that they have as well, which I'm a huge fan of, I'll go to their website right now. Huge fan of this. Their platform updates instantaneously. Let me log in here. So if these accounts are just now open, I can go to I haven't had any payouts from them yet. So these accounts must wait 1 day after first trade, and that's it. Meaning today. Withdrawable amount up to $500. It does look like there's a buffer. Never mind. Sorry about that. I missed that part. But when I take a payout, so I need to get these accounts to 2,100. Anything over 2,100 is 1 day payout. So as long as I remain over 2,100, let's say I build them up to 4,000, I can take 1,900 and then continue to trade with that buffer and just take the payout every day, whatever I make, which would be pretty nice. So that's what we're going to try to get up to. They're not really in a rush to trade these accounts or make them insanely profitable and take 5K payouts every day. But definitely going to be looking to trade them consistently, just using the micros. How do you translate 609 to NQ's price? What I do, I will always use QQQ. I do not try to translate levels over to Tradeovate. What you can do if you wanted the level, and it's easier if you're targeting highs and lows, like pre-market high from today, 25,054. That's our wick high from 4 a.m. Previous day's high, you just zoom out a little more. Previous day's high is 25,129. Those levels are a lot easier to target because they're the highs and lows. You can't really you have to look for candles that match up, but on the same note, these candles don't match up with MNQ and QQQ because there's slippage on them. It would take me it's me trades, it would take me so I would have to be I don't even know how I would go about that. It would take me so long to get a 100K payout with my funded futures on the pro accounts. It would take me so long. Were you able to get your payouts? It's still en route, Brandon. I haven't gotten the one from Apex yet. Start a new funded with Lucid Day. There you go, Sam. Very nice. 15-minute chart. Ooh, a nice little 20-point win for you, Roland. I think I caught up with all these. Yes, I did. Beautiful. What's the win rate? I have no idea, honestly. I'm sorry. Win rate is not something that I track. I don't think you need to track win rate. If you are worried about the win rate and you're worried about needing like a 70% win rate strategy before you start trading it, the profit factor is the only measure that matters. That is it. The profit factor is the only thing that you should be looking at. You can have, and this is the reason I don't concern myself with win rate. I don't concern myself with RR. You can have a 30% win rate if your risk reward is 3. You can have a 50% win rate if your risk reward is 2. You could have a 10% win rate if your risk reward is 9. So if you have your risk reward cancels out your win rate and vice versa. As long as your profit factor is over 1, preferably it's over 1.1, meaning that every dollar you lose, you make $1.10 back. So you're profitable 10% of the time. ICT, I think, has ruined the entire perspective of what win rate should be because you don't. There's maybe 0.5% to 0.02% of the traders in the world have a win rate that is genuinely over 70%. Best trader on Wall Street had a win rate that's like 73%. So if you think that some ICT guy online, or heaven forbid, like if you guys go and see Lance, what's his Lance Bergenstein? He always interacts with Trader Sai because he's, I mean, that's as fraudulent as it gets. He's posting that he has a 99% win rate over the course of 2 years with a profit factor of 500. So don't try to fall into the trap of looking at a win rate. I don't track it. Most of the people that I work with, they don't track it. Like Ash Trades, he just did a back testing on the IB. He did 2 back testings on his YouTube, 66% win rate. But he also was just looking for entries at the 50% mark. The first back testing he did, total profit was 90,000. That was using 1 mini. Profitable trades 12 out of 19, and that was over the course of 2 months. He was just entering at the 50%. And then the second back testing, total profit 31,000 with 1 mini, 42 trades, 22 out of 42 won. Profit factor was 1.2. Profit factor was 2.9 on the first back test. But don't concern yourself with the profit factor. Don't worry about it. Sorry, not the profit. Profit factor is what you should concern yourself with. Don't concern yourself with the win rate. Don't get blinded by, oh, this win rate needs to be 65%. And on the same note, don't think that a bad win rate is a bad thing either. I just entered at 847 MNQ. Let me I'll actually pull this up because I do like this metric. Top Step live leaderboard. Let's see if they have it just on images here. Yeah, there we go. That's what I was looking for. So if we pull this up, and this will validate everything that I was just saying, take a look at the batting average. That's their win rate. So there's one trader down here. This one probably means that he's just taken one trade. Stefan L. 17 says 100% win rate. What do you notice about the win rate of all of the supposed live traders or profitable traders with Top Step? Alleged. What do you notice about their win rate? It says their total take 500,000, 400,000, 300,000, 380,000. These are live accounts, by the way. Win rate 36%, win rate 45%, win rate 41.8, win rate 33.3, win rate 53, 40%, 52, 39. Out of their top 10 traders, one of them had a win rate that was over 50%. It doesn't show the risk reward on here, but it does show on the right side average win, average loss. This means that even with a 36% win rate, his average win 568, his average loss 354. Average winning day 6,000, average losing day 3,000. So his risk reward's about a 2.0. Same for the second trader, same for the third, so on and so forth. So these $500,000 in profit with a 36% win rate. That should give you everything that you need to know about worrying about win rate. And the reason, another reason I don't even concern myself with that is many times I'll go in with 10 two micros, so I'll copy trade on these accounts. I'll get stopped at break even, which with fees is usually red, or I'll have like a dollar green trade. I'll get stopped at break even several times throughout the week. Several times. I'm not risking anything, but that skews the win rate and risk reward quite a bit. So don't worry about going on a huge win streak, whatever it is. People are still making posts on that Apex post I used. All right, we should get an entry coming up here. Entry for longs. 5 minute just retested London 50. I'm not going to enter quite yet. SPY's looking a little bit better, so we might go and take a long on that for today. We'll do 2 MES or we'll do 1 MNQ. SPY actually just retested the 50 perfectly with that wick. I think we're going to have a draw up for the rest of the day because Q's never went and took that previous day's low. I think we're going to go all the way up to 609. Either that or we're going to stay in the inside bar, which I don't mind either. Are your Tradeovate executions delayed? Yeah, I think Tradeovate's... I just went through Lucid and Tradeify, but they didn't say anything for their announcements. The chat in both of them is saying that it's pretty slow, though. Can't execute on Tradeovate. Click cancel all. Yeah, it looks like Tradeovate and Lucid's Discord's having some problems. A lot of people in Tradeify's Discord are having problems with Tradeovate and just the trader chat. So we'll probably have to wait a little bit. I said a trade on Tradeovate could exit, took like a minute. Keep in mind that you guys can go to, Ash was just telling me about this yesterday. Does anyone in here know what website URL you use to go and view the traffic on any given forum. 20 minutes is a little too early to enter the IB. That's plenty of time for it to go and take a new IB low. Although this is probably a pretty good entry right here on SPY for longs, I'm going to try to wait a little bit longer because I don't want it to go and take a new IB low, and then that invalidates the trade before we can even turn it into a 70% trade. Ash was just telling me I'm not in anything right now. No, Kwong. 20 minutes is a little too early to enter, I think. I'm looking for longs. I'm looking for price to go up to that IB high. I would like to enter now. I don't think that's a bad entry at 6875. So then we have a 20-point move to the upside. Be a $200 trade or a $200 loss. Anyway, what I was saying, you guys can go. I gotta reach out to Ash to see if he can send me this again. But apparently, there's a way that you can go and see what internet traffic is coming in. And if anyone's noticed with Lucid, their website's been down pretty much every day for the past several weeks. Good bounce there, actually, off that 50. I still think it's a little too early. I'm going to try to wait at least another 5 minutes. Lucid's been down because of volume, because so many people are leaving Top Step. And that's valid from looking at website URL visits. I don't remember the website that he gave me. It was something to do with Cloudflare. But Top Step and Lucid used to be, Top Step used to be number one for years and years and years. Lucid, brand new, obviously, last year, but they've completely switched since Top Step has been speed running how many bad rules they can make in a row. Why am I not entering the IB right now? I'm not entering because we still have 19 minutes left for it to form. Price is moving pretty slow today. We only have on MNQ, which is why I'd be fine with taking one MNQ. We only have a 200-point range today, actually 190 points. So less than $200 for the risk reward. 15 minutes is more than enough time for price to come all the way down to form a new IB low, and vice versa. So I like the shorter we enter, the less time it's left from now to 10:30, the better off we are, because that's less time for price to make a new high or low. If it goes and makes a new low coming up here, that invalidates the trade before we can actually validate the stop loss. If that makes sense. So if SPY goes and takes a new low, that means that we're targeting a break of the low. That would also be where our stop loss is on this trade. So it's a little too early. We have another 2 minutes on this 15-minute candle. I'd at least want this to close before getting into another trade. Can't really say another trade. We haven't gotten one yet. I want this to close before we get into the trade. 15 minutes is more than enough time for SPY to go and drop $1.80, which is kind of what it's doing right now. Patience. Be patient. Q's just wicked pretty hard off that 50%. Yeah, we're looking for longs. We want price to head up to that IB high because the stat is showing a 75% chance on Qs and a 75% chance on SPY. Oh, they line up perfectly. Look at that. 75% on both. Minute 20. I'm eager to enter right now. I just don't want to have it go and take a new IB low. Qs did not fill the gap. The close from yesterday was 605.70. Our high from today is 605.61. So we did not get the gap fill stat yet. The urge to enter is so bad. Yeah, I just think 15 minutes is a little too long. That would be an added risk for us to enter the trade right now. It's a lot of data left on the table. I will feel a little upset if we miss the trade because of this, but I think it's more beneficial that we don't enter this early. 10:23 is what my rule is. Although last week we did enter one. Earlier this week we entered one at like 10:20 as well. On Monday I entered it like 19 minutes early, even though it was a bank holiday. That's not on here. I'll go on here. On Monday was a bank holiday. I entered at like 9, not 9, sorry. I entered at like 10:11, and then it ended up whacking me. I lost $80 on it, 40 points. So we're gonna try to give it some time. Just kind of playing with a 50% level. I do think it's gonna go up. It should go up. That's what data is telling us, but give it like another 5 minutes, hopefully. If we're still at this level in the next 5 minutes at 10:20, then I will enter longs. I think that's 10 minutes isn't as bad as the 20 minutes that we were just waiting for there. But this is the hardest part about trading right here, is not getting into the non A plus setup. It's still valid right now for us to go long. It's just not as good as it should be. Don't even get me started on hindsight traders. Maybe we'll get a better entry. This is the ideal entry right here. That's exactly what we want. I am on the group trade. Good. That's exactly what we want for an entry, 6875. So if we ended up just missing it, that's okay. But price could have just as easily, especially because we're underneath London 50. We're underneath London 50 on both SPY and Qs. Qs hasn't taken the previous day's low or previous day's high yet. I'm thinking too much is what's happening. But it doesn't line up with our rules, so I'm not too upset about this pushing up right now. Too early to enter. Simplified down to. That's it. Should have held 10 seconds longer. How did he get stopped on his longs? Of course, it's going to work out. I'm the best hindsight trader there is. There we go. It's rejecting a little bit again. We got a minute 20, and then we'll look for an entry here. Risk is going to be 20 points. Reward is going to be 20 points. If we take one MES, I'm going to try 2, I think, because that will line up with what the risk on M and Q will be. 10 minutes isn't as bad for us to go and take a new low, so I'm not too worried by that. Again, the longer that we wait to enter, the less chance it has of making a new IB low or IB high. In this case, we don't want it to go and make a new IB low, because then that would switch our bias and we'd want to target the low. we want to either make a new high or stay right at 50% for the next 5 minutes, 10 minutes. We have 30 seconds left, and then we can start looking for an entry at the 50. Too much thinking. Yep. Counters what I was saying yesterday about being dumb. What do you think if I enter one micro on 50% early and another one micro lower for lower risk? That's if price were to push lower. This is all this what if, excuse me. What if I entered here? What if I entered there? That's all hindsight trading, which is one of the worst things you can do. Especially if you, and this will get you out of ruts faster than anything. If you're a trader that goes and enters a trade, so let's say we went long yesterday morning, we were long targeting previous day's high. Let's say we did that. We took a 50-point win, and then you go and see price push up another 200 points. Are you accepting of the 50-point win, or are you a trader that sits there the whole time and goes, and I'm guilty of this too, I still do it here and there. Do you accept the 50-point win, or are you a trader that goes and looks at the chart and goes, man, I missed out on 200 points. And then you get upset that you didn't hold the trade for longer. And now instead of being happy and content that you just made 50 points on 2 micros or 1 micro, you're disappointed with yourself that you didn't hold for another 200 points. And that typically leads to you getting in more trades because you want more profit. You have that little greed demon sitting on your shoulder saying, I could have made so much more in this trade if I had just held it. I could have made so much more. It's one of the worst things you can do. Anyway, 8 minutes left. This is playing out perfectly right now. I do want it to dip down a little bit lower if we could. It's off by 4 points. I would just increase our risk by a little bit if we enter right now. I'm going to go and let's do it. All right, 2 MES long. We'll do a sell 10 stop at the bottom, and our profit is IB high. So in for 2 MES long, and we're looking for the IB high to get taken. Entry is 6876. Op IB 50. Stop loss, IB low, TP, IB high. And these accounts do have trailing intraday drawdown on them, so we're not going to look to not move the stop loss up, if that makes sense. We're going to make sure that we are moving the stop up as price goes up. The worst thing that can happen is we go up 100 and then lose, or we go up like 180 and then go back down and take the stop loss. These rejections at the 100 daily SMA are quite big. Too much thinking. Too much thinking. Less thinking. Less stuff on the charts. That'll benefit you. No SMAs. If we're using the IB, then we're using the IB. If we're using SMAs, then we're using SMAs. We're not going to use the IB and then use SMAs alongside it. There you go, Steve. Good. See you tomorrow, Steve. So we got 7 minutes left on the IB to close. 6 minutes now. That 6 minutes, we should not go and take a new IB low, which is why I'm okay with entering where we did, even though it was early. These accounts have 2,000 in drawdown on them, so we don't need to be too tight. We don't need to be too conservative with the trades that we're taking. 2 MES is fine. 1 M&Q is also fine. The goal for these accounts is to get them up to a balance of 2,100. So distance to liquidity, we'll say 4,100, and then we can go and take a payout. Got in long at 77 with 2 MES. There you go. So we got 5 minutes left. It's looking pretty good now. If we can get a close over London 52, this will add a lot of confluence on to the trade. It's got 12 seconds left to close over here. We're up 100 right now. There we go. 5-minute close over London 50. So that should add some confluence onto the trade. Also, just get a retest down to London 50 with a wick right there. It's looking pretty good. I see a clear chop between AV VOPs to news candle in yesterday's session open on ES and NQ. This means both short and long is possible after break of this AV VWAP sandwich. That's great, but that is not something that I would use alongside the IB. Again, if you use what AV VWAPs, use that. If you use inverse fair value gaps, use that. If you use the IB, use the IB. If you use London 50, use London 50. You do not want to mix trades together. Mixing indicators, mixing trades, mixing setups, that will not go well for you, I promise. It creates word soup in your head, and then you end up just closing over. Can you please type the number of the stop loss and target for the futures alerts? Most of it work. Yeah, I got you. 6856 and 6894. Six eight five six 6894. There you go. Only up 25 now. We did peak up about 100 on that trade. Good news is that we only have 3 minutes left. So it's a very slim chance that we go and form a new IB loan. That's the only thing that would invalidate this trade. Got a market data this week. We got a pretty good entry on that, I'd say. It's still green right now, and we're at 684.40 on SPY. So very good use of patience and hindsight right now. Had we just waited until where we are, 10:27, we would have gotten a much cleaner entry in terms of time left on the IB. So not too much to worry about there. We don't have any news. Pending home sales, 10, no news, no speakers. So everything should be fine. We just have to be patient now. We have a 75% chance on both SPY and Qs to go up to the high. And that's what we're going to be waiting for. If it ends up taking an hour, so be it. Man, just listening to you has made me a better trader. Thank you so much. Glad I can help. I entered the other direction, short bias with those other rejections. Sorry. How are we doing today, Mr. Zink? Make some law. What's going on, Hunter? How you doing? We'll see. Trailing drawdown kind of stinks because now it's technically showing that we're down 100 on the trade, even though it is break even at the moment. Did I blow the Apex accounts? No. Just not trading them live because I'm not giving them any advertisement. They are a morally poor company. All right, we're down 30 right now, down 32. Technically down 130 because that damn trailing intraday drawdown. Good entry for Qs as well. It's right at 50% of the IB. This one, if you guys wanted to take the trade on QQQ, This is sitting at 930, I think. That's yep. So this is from the 50 entry to the high. It is about 100 points, so $200, a little less than 100 points, 95 points. So if you wanted to take that trade, it'd be a $190 trade as well. We could double up. The only issue with doing that on one account is that it's technically the same trade. So you're increasing your risk for not much reward. If it ends up losing, then you end up losing twice as much. You might as well have just gone 4M and MES. Fed Goolsby speaks at 10:30. Damn you, Sam. I did used to put the screenshot in there, Roland. I don't know why. Every time I try to go and take a screenshot, it doesn't work anymore. And I don't know if it's something to do with Google Chrome being open or what. That's frustrating. Kind of want to take the entry on, even though I said I didn't want to increase the risk. I do kind of want to take it on M&Q or 1. I'm tempted. Very tempted. Buy bid. I'll do it. Sell 5 stop, sell 5 limit. I'll try it with 1, even though it will increase the risk. Long 1 M&Q at IB50. 24,863. Well, that's not even worth typing it out. I pumped up that much off of it. 40-point trade. Cool. Give me a full TP, huh? I'm going to try to leave it. Do it. What is your take around 90% win rate, but 25-point TP versus 150-point stop loss? It works. If only, 150-point stop loss is a little extreme, but having a 90% win rate and what does that come out to? 1 in 6 RR. So 16.16 RR. It works. The numbers work on that. Okay, you know what? I'm going to take the 50 points on M&Q. A little less than 50 points, 92. And then MES will ride for the remainder of that trade. I do want to go to IB high, but I'm a bitch about full TP. 50-point trade still. You got to be happy with that profit. It still should go to IB high. I just suck at holding full TPs. I'm so bad at it. I will try to be a little greedy with MES. We'll see if this can go up to the high. The good news is us realizing that win on M&Q. If MES does go and take our loss, goes and stops us out at the IB low, and then this trade, and we're only risking $100 on this as opposed to risking 200. Missed another. Really, it's not that bad. Missed another 30 points. The IBI. So another $60 on M&Q. I just passed a 50K Lucid account. It took me 37 days. Awesome. The fact that you managed to trade that for 37 days is even better. Nice trade, bro. Thank you, Kurt. I'm targeting 904 for ES, 125%. Yeah. 904. Oh, I got you. I got you. 8 points off. $200 day. Do we take it? Sure. $200 day to start with these accounts. Lovely. $120 trade on MES and $192 trade on MNQ. Definitely should have held it a little bit longer, but God, could you get an even better 50% reaction than that? Come on now. Look at that. How profitable is this strategy? Holy shit. It's good. It's a good strategy. I will size up one day, just not anytime soon. I trusted the stats. Great. And I'm sorry I'm going to use you as an example, Rain. Exactly what I was saying, though. If we're using the IB for this trade, we're using the IB. If you are using the EMAs, you're using the EMAs. If you're using inverse fair value gaps, you're using inverse fair value gaps. You do not, oh, my wife's leaving. You do not use all the stats together. You don't do that. That is how you turn yourself from a good trader into a bad trader. So, point that I was making yesterday, be stupid. Be dumb with your trades. The more that you think and the more that you have word soup going on, and someone did make fun of me for this earlier this week, but analysis paralysis, because you have so much shit in your head, you have so many data points and so many, oh, the fair value gap's here and we have the EMA rejecting, we have the VWAP above that, so that should also reject here. And I don't really want to see IB high because that was just a gap fill stat. And now we have intraday low and intraday high and yada, yada, yada. That's too much stuff going on in your head. Simplify everything down. And again, would a fifth grader have taken that trade? Was this a very complex trade for us to take? If the IB low forms first, you target the IB high. If the IB high forms first, you target the IB low. Your entry, your best entry is at 50%. And you know what? I secured early. I'm a bitch. I secured early on the trade, but am I going to be upset that I just made $200? I just made $1,000 right there. This is $1,000 day, plus all the other accounts too. Tradeify, I did size up a little bit, so 5,000 on those accounts. $6,000 day, but I'll just refine it to 1,000. Am I upset about that? Should I be upset about that? Probably not. No. So I just need to be content with the trade, and I need to not be so smart with the trades that I'm taking. There's no reason for me to add on, and I'll tell you what, right now, this is what I see a lot of charts look like online. And I don't know how many indicators I can add on, but this is, oh no, I lost my customization. No. Okay, hold on. I can save it. There we go. Whew. This is what I see a lot of charts look like online. So they have VWAP, they have posty pivots on, volume. They'll slap a VWAP on there for whatever reason. And this is what a chart will look like online. You go and see a screenshot of someone that took a win, and not to mention, they also usually have the beautiful long or short position chart on there, so it looks like this. Does this give you a headache? Gives me a headache looking at it. You guys can type A1 in chat if this gives you a headache. It gives me a headache looking at it. As opposed to having a chart that looks like this, maybe, just maybe, go ahead and get rid of all this nonsense. And honestly, we didn't even need London 50 on there. London 50 was an added confluence on SPY somewhat because we closed over it a little bit. It's as simple as just looking at that. You go and give a fifth grader this for a fifth grader math quiz and say, where if you enter at 50% and the IB low form first, the IB high form second, you're targeting the IB high. We have a 75% chance of going to the IB high. That's your trade. For the entry, I see you enter many times before IB close. Is there a specific reason or just anticipate? It's increasing the risk on the trade, Ivan. So I enter before the IB forms because sometimes, let's see if I can find an example from last week. We had a perfect example of this earlier. This was on Friday last week. Hold on, I'll find it right here. So Tuesday this week, we had a monster trade on the IB. This was probably the biggest one that we've taken for a while. This entry we took at 10:15 to 10:20, somewhere in that time frame. So that trade we took well before the IB closed. The reason being, I did not expect it to retrace all the way up to 682. That was a $4 pullback on SPY to make it to the high. So we enter early, and that adds a risk on, but it's a calculated risk. If we don't think today's a pretty small range, so this one's a little easier for us to go and say it's probably not going to pull back. This range today was only $1.80 from the midpoint up and down. Whereas on Tuesday this week, the range was $4 from the midpoint. It was an $8 range in total. Pretty unlikely that price reverses. I mean, it did. Hindsight 2020. It did end up reversing, but after it broke the IB. So it was still a really good trade for us to have taken. And this should go and hit the full TP coming up here shortly. Did I hear you say that there's a chance NQ? Ooh, bad voice crack. It's an equal chance that NQ hits previous day's high or previous day's low. It might very well just stay within this range all day as well. That was a perfect delivery, Zing. Thank you. No problem. I think you mean don't make it complicated rather than stupid. Yeah, but stupid sounds funnier. Are all your trade size the same? If not, how do you decide? On Tradeify, I size up a little bit. So for the past, I don't know, 7 months, 8 months, I've been practicing trying to size up. I'm trying to find the sweet point, the level that I can size up and still be comfortable in the trade while also not risking my ass on the trade. So 2 MES. Last week we would have done 1 MES. This week we did 2. I am getting a little more comfortable with it, which is good. I'm not as worried about the trades blowing out the stop loss or the take profit. I think we managed that one as well as we could have. We could have obviously let it run to full TP. It should go and hit full TP here shortly, which all in all, if it hits full TP, we miss on SPY. This was 6 points, so $60 on the 2 MES and then $60. So $120 is what we will have missed if it goes and hit full TP. I'm not too upset about that. You're my favorite streamer. No drama, full transparency. Way to go. The only streamer I trade. Thank you. Nice job explaining the Edgeful stats. I found this easier to follow than onboarding videos. Sweet. Doesn't the early entry decrease your stop size, though, if it plays as expected? Not always. So the stop loss, if we're entering at 50%, the stop loss is 1-to-1 regardless. If anything, entering early actually increases your risk because there's a chance, albeit slim, there is still a chance that price will go all the way down to, I'll drag this out so you can see what I'm talking about here. We entered at 10:22. That means there's 8 minutes for price to go all the way to the IB low, and that would invalidate the trade before we could actually validate the stop loss. So if it goes and takes the IB low, then we're switching our bias and targeting the IB low. But since we entered early, it's not the trade that lost, it's us that lost because we entered early, didn't give the stat enough time to develop. That's the risk that you add on with entering early. Again, going to Tuesday, the reason that we entered early on Tuesday, the range was a lot larger. This was a 40-point range from high to low, as opposed to the 20-point range from high to low that we're looking at today. Yeah, I mean, you can do whatever preference you have. The 5-minute chart's fine. I like the 15-minute chart because it's a little easier to follow, I feel. The closures on higher time frames are always more significant than lower time frames as well. So a 5-minute closure is more valid than a 3-minute and a 1-minute closure. A 15-minute closure is more valid than a 5-minute, 3-minute, 1-minute closure. An hourly closure is more valid than you get the point. How come my distance liquidity only on my accounts on my PA is my full 25K balance? It's at 25,236, and yours is. I'm not trading on Apex. I'm trading on my funded futures. This is an Apex. Yeah, it's all up to preference. I know people that are really successful with the 1-minute time frame. I know people that use a 2-minute time frame, 3-minute time frame. It's your preference. It works a little bit differently in everyone's head. I have Tom. I have my laptop open next to me. That's what I traded. I have a different window open on my desktop, which is what I'm streaming on right now. My laptop, I trade Apex on. My desktop, I just took the trades on my funded futures and Tradeify. I don't have any active Lucid accounts. I blew those, unfortunately. So those are the three that I trade. Anytime I get over the 3 accounts, one of them always falls off. I can't focus enough. But on the same note, I am not using a trade copier because of how many outages they've had. First time to know, so I can take an example trade on M&Q and another trade on MES on same account. You could. I sized up a little bit. I risked a little bit more on that. That could have gone and taken the stop loss, and I would have been down 400 or 360. I think max TP would have been 360. Holding trades longer is definitely my weak point. I'd struggle a lot with that. I'm definitely taking a decent chunk of reward off the table by not holding them long. Like we could have easily, and this goes back to what I was just making for a point, and it's kind of the greed that is doing this. We could have easily made at least another $80 in that trade, which would have been 400 over the 5 accounts. But on the same note, realizing 206, pretty okay with that too. So it's still $1,000 day. And use 14 EMA for entries. Get that shit out of here, Kurt. No, we're not using the EMAs. Catch you tomorrow, Legends. See you, Rolo. Sorry, I missed that message. Did you end up getting that trade, Roland? The exit and all? Hopefully. R2, you probably got it as well, I hope. If NQ hasn't broken and returns to the midpoint, would you re-enter? No. It already had a pretty strong reaction at the midpoint. So I will not be looking to re-enter at 50%. All right. Well, that is beautiful. 200 times 5 across the Lucid accounts. Very nice. Then even better with that close that we just had, it's more than likely going to go and take the IB high, but I'm not going to concern myself too much with that. Very happy with the profit we made. Hindsight, we actually got a pretty good exit on SPY so far. I am currently a break-even trader. I trade inverse fair value gaps, but it never hits my TP, and I don't like targeting high RR. I'm thinking about switching to your strat. I've seen for a while. You're so consistent. Try it out. Try it out for a month. There's nothing wrong with trying out different strategies. Think about it from the worst possible standpoint or the worst possible case scenario. What's going to happen? You lose a month. You end up missing out on a month of trading that you were break even at anyway. Trying new stuff is actually how I ended up finding what works for me and realizing that 50% retracements are what I like trading the most. Too clean. That was crazy clean. Do you stream daily? I stream Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. And this stream, this is with Edgeful. And then on Monday, Friday, I stream every day live in the Discord. And then Monday, Friday, I do not stream publicly. Also do some Asia trades as well. Did I backtest for over a year on 50% retracement? I did not. $122 for the month, and it comes with the courses too, Linux. Steve, unfortunately, is he back in live now? No, Steve just got denied his Apex payout, the big one, for account investigation. Poor guy. There's an additional 50% retest. You could enter if you wanted to. I'm not going to. This looks like a pretty nasty chop day now that I'm really looking at it. It looked a lot cleaner when we entered, when there was less sideways action. But again, this is probably just me overthinking it. It could be a really good entry to go up to that high again. But I'm content with my day. Not really focused on trying to squeeze out more. I can finally unfollow all these other YouTubers with hindsight trade reviews and constant updates on their strategies and just on Zinc. Thank you. The course is out. Maybe this weekend, SS. Maybe that's your weekend surprise. I followed 50% by rejection and just hit stop loss. Very challenging to set the RR. You must have missed the trade that we just took then. We entered at 10:22 and then at 10:30 on MNQ. But it's all done now for me anyway. I'm not going to try to go and take another thing. Another trade. Inside day today. What do you reckon? Make it choppy day? Yeah. So my My analysis on this, we have the inside bar stat that is still looming on cues. We have a magnet pulling us up. We have a magnet pulling us down. Previous day's low, previous day's high. My guess is it's probably we didn't hit previous day's 50 quite yet, so that's not a valid rejection. London 50 is doing nothing, so we don't even really need to have that on. This is getting pulled in both directions. So we have that low that's pulling price down. That's where bears want it to go. And we have this high that's getting pulled. Oops. We have this high that bulls want it to go to. We don't have any news. We don't have any speakers. We don't have any catalysts that are going to push us up or down. This is just a fight between market makers. Simple as that. So the inside bar stat, it wins when it wins, it loses when it loses. When it loses, what it does mean is the following trading day, so tomorrow, is going to have a massive move outside of this range. Fun fact for the inside bars, if you guys didn't know, the price range of the inside bar is a multiplier for how large of a move you're expecting outside of the range. So yesterday was a 1.5% inside bar. If it takes 1 day to break, then that one doesn't really have any validation to it. If it takes 2 days to break, that means we're 2 times 1.5%. If it takes 3 days, 3 times 1.5%. 4 days, 4 times 1.5%. So if this doesn't break today, tomorrow we're going to be anticipating a 2% break or a 3% break. If it doesn't break tomorrow, then Monday we're going to be anticipating a 4.5% break. Sorry, not 6. If it doesn't break by Tuesday, 6%, and so on. So that's how you trade inside bars. What I will add to all of this little discussion here, that was actually ended up being a really nice bounce off the 50. If anyone happened to get a re-entry on that. Zooming out to the 24-hour time frame, this is the most sideways I've seen the market for probably all 6 years all 8 years I've been trading. We were pretty close. We've actually exceeded the consolidation that we had during the election period last year, 2 years ago. But we haven't had, if you zoom all the way out, we haven't had price action this sideways. It does usually happen from November to February, but this one has been from October of last year to we're basically in March now. So this has been a brutal market to trade if you guys are just now stepping into the market. Damn, we definitely could have doubled up in the profit there. Damn it. Hindsight. Hindsight trader. If they had nano contracts, I would enter long again. Well, Kurt, lucky enough for you, if you want to de-risk on that, just take one MES, and that will be half the risk of one MNQ. So that is the closest that you can get to a nano contract. Or you could go to a CFD firm and you risk the dollar amount that you want to make or lose. So if you wanted to risk $100 in this trade, regardless of the sizing, that's what you could do with a CFD firm. If you wanted to risk $25, obviously it correlates the reward as well. So you're not going to risk $25 and make 5,000. It's not the case. But you could risk 25 and then make 25. Did I hear you saying you're coming out with a course? Yeah, I have it completed. We just have to upload it to the WAP. It's right wherever it is, right here. So this is what give you guys a little tease. I did show this a while back, but this is what it's going to look like. And then we'll have it for the IB. We'll have it for trend trading, Asia trading. I will do an official announcement when that's out, so don't worry about that. And unfortunately for the giveaways, I will show you guys this as well, just so you know I'm not BSing you. You go to Lucid Trading, and then my portal, and go to the affiliate dashboard. This is still down right now, so I can't access any of the promo codes that I bought. How the Lucid affiliates work, just so you guys are aware, they don't give you free accounts to give away unless you reach out to like AJ and they partner with you. All the accounts that I've given away, I've purchased with the affiliate commission that you guys have generated. So the more that you use it, the more accounts I'll give away. It's another form of income. I am keeping a little bit of the funds from it, I'll be honest, but the more that you guys use it, the more accounts I'll give away. I can't access the promo codes that I bought though. I was gonna do we're giving away 10 accounts. I'm giving away 10 accounts this week. I was trying to do it on Tuesday, but their affiliate dashboard's been down for maintenance for all week, and I don't think it's going to come back up tomorrow. I have little faith, so we might end up doing it next week. But the promo code is Zinc, ZINC, for Tradeify, Lucid, and My Funded Futures. And then I can do the same giveaways with My Funded Futures as well, since I do stream with them on Fridays. IB still intact. Right now, we're smack dab in the middle, R2. So we have no validation pulling us up, no validation pulling us down. Almost at the high. We're rejecting previous states 50 now. Holding up. Why am I called Zinc? It was my RuneScape. If anyone's familiar with the game Old School RuneScape. Lucky enough for you guys, I picked I picked my RuneScape name, Mr. Zinc, because I like the reason I picked that name on RuneScape was because I wanted a periodic table name. Had I picked my Xbox gamer tag, my gamer tag on Xbox is Plump Junior. So you guys could have been calling me Plump right now. So count yourselves lucky that I picked Zinc. What Lucid plan would you recommend if we want to start with one account and use the IB stat? Any of them. I prefer the Lucid Pro, but any account that fits what your risk is or what you want to trade, Lucid, all their accounts is a one-time payment. So you have no rush on worrying about, I have to pass this in the month. I have to pass this right now. I have to pass this before it rebuilds. All their accounts you buy one time. That's it. What's that promo code? It is Zinc, Julian. And that works for Tradeify, Lucid, and My Funded Futures. Those are the only two that I will back with my brand. Obviously, Edgeful as well, but Edgeful doesn't have a custom promo code for me. Do you have a video on setting RR for IB trades? Don't need a video, get Concha. Your entry is at 50%. Even if I enter over or under 50%, my risk reward on every IB trade that I go into is at minimum 1-to-1. I will never have a negative RR trade on the IB stat. A couple times I've had a positive RR where price closes at for today's example, price closed at 602. So I would have anticipated a break up to 605. My stop loss would have still been 601. So that RR would have been 3, 4 maybe. Oh, shoot, it is 11. Well, that stream went by quick. I didn't realize it was 11 already. Using Zinc as a promo code, what discount does that give you? Whatever the best one they have, Wall Dive. Whatever the best promo code or promo they have running. Usually for Lucid, it's 35% off. 40% off in some cases. My funded futures is like 15% off. They don't do big discounts very often. And then Tradeify is like 30% off. All right, guys, that will do it for the stream today. That is all from me. We got a nice $1,000 day on stream, 2 solid wins with the IB. But that will do it. I will see everyone tomorrow, same time. In the Discord, that is. I'll give you a call here in a moment, Wild Dive. And then for everyone joining me on YouTube with Edgeful, I will see you guys next Tuesday. Next Tuesday, we will be live. Great stream today. Great IB trade. Great risk management. See you guys later. Have a great rest of your day. Great weekend. Peace out.